Do it one more time, just in case.
Perfect.
Hello there. This is Drew in the flesh. Yeah. Here with my little sister, Ashley. As you can see for the
Hi.
first time, how little she is.
So tiny.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
petite.
Just realized I need to look at the outline a little bit. So getting
I thought you
that
were
pulled
gonna say
up.
you have to poop.
No, but I mean, if I do, we're live, so and we're on video.
Get a
All bowel
bucket.
movements. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have like a mobile, rolling little studio setup now, so I can just roll it right
Roll
into
into the bathroom.
Yeah, yeah. I
Perfect.
mean, I don't know if it'll fit in my tiny bathroom.
I was like, I probably just roll outside.
Yeah, I can position it like with outside the door, and like snake the camera into the into the door.
But it won't happen. It won't happen.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You are listening and watching New Release, a TV and sometimes movie podcast. Ashley?
Where each week we watch something new and then decide if we want more.
Yeah. So we took a month off and I had a lot of time to think about, what we could do to improve the podcast. And I figured we'd keep everything the same, except
And this is it.
we're gonna release video for the first time. So
Oof.
you'll get to see us if you're watching on YouTube. When I post the episode, I'll put links to the YouTube channel so you can subscribe there. And it'll be an evolving production. So
Perfect.
each week it will hopefully get better. And we're going to try to release every Saturday morning. That'll be the plan.
Oh, that's nice. Good for a walk.
Yeah, good for, back when you used to watch Saturday morning cartoons. Now you can listen to New Release
And
radio.
watch.
Yeah. Do you like that I'm calling it New Release radio now that it's video? Does that make sense?
No,
No.
it doesn't make sense.
I can't tell if I think it's funny to myself, which means it's probably not.
Inside joke for one. Yes.
Well, I wanted radio to be the aesthetic, like static, dial tuning. If you heard that in the intro and that chaotic spliced together intro that I made this morning, then that's the concept, that you're like tuning a dial to New Release and we're beaming to you from a cool like lighthouse radio studio, as you can see
Oh,
from our
yes.
backgrounds.
Yeah, visually.
And Ashley's dance.
Yeah. You can totally tell. We're out to sea.
Yeah. Well, you've had weeks, Ashley, to bone up on your Prime numbers. So this is episode 227 of New Release. And Prime or not Prime?
Not Prime.
Okay, you're probably right.
Divisible by
you're never
3,
right.
divisible by 9. There's a lot
It
of
does
things
have a
about
7
you.
in it.
Yeah. I think it's divisible. So.
Okay.
Just saying.
Well, we'll never confirm that one way or the other. But it is fun to play,
It
nonetheless.
is a prime number.
I knew it. I
Confirmed.
I
Damn it.
knew. There's no reason to have faith in you.
Come on. That's tricky. It's tricky,
Yeah, I mean, my first gut was it has a 7 in it. But then again, that's not always a surefire
Right.
strategy. But it was this time.
Great. Cool. Wrong
Some
for
things-
always.
Some things never change. At least we're consistent. But we do have some catching up to do. It's been, a month. The first time we've ever taken any time off since we started 227 episodes ago. So
Wild.
I assume we've both been watching a few things in the interim. But let me take us back in time real quick, and then we can talk about that. You're piercing.
Yeah. Ugh.
Well, see how it sounds in the final product. But yeah, what have you been watching? I know at least one thing that
Gilmore
we're
Girls.
both really Oh.
That
Great.
wasn't it.
Well,
I know, but
I can give a girls update. Where are you at in Gilmore Girls?
Justin and Roy are still together, but they're having problems.
Okay. Um, is he what season is this? Trying to.
I don't know.
Okay.
3? I'm not sure. I feel
So
like
they
their
just
seasons are like 500 episodes, so I don't know.
yeah, no, I know it's crazy. Like every time I go to rewatch it, I have like well, every time I think I'm really craving rewatching it, then I remember
Yeah,
it's going to be like the next 3 4 months of my life.
at least. Well, maybe
Which
yeah. For me, it's been like a year, and I'm on season
yeah,
3, maybe.
yeah. Girls, on the other hand, 10 to 12 episode seasons at the most, I think, 30-minute episodes. And man, is it
How many
funny and
seasons is it?
6, I believe.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm on season, I just started, I think I just finished season 4 and I'm about to go into the season 5 premiere.
Dang.
Yeah. But
Moving
I
right
mean, I just
along.
forgot how much I love the Lena Dunham character, flawed as she is, and the commentary on like her writing process, her trying to
Hmm.
figure out, all the things that people are trying to figure out when they're um, transitioning into being an adult, and for all the flack that the show gets about, her entitled
Yeah.
position and not actually, struggling like in a way that a lot of people struggle. It's, um, relatable to the amount of privilege that I had, or like freedom I
Hmm.
had to figure out, flounder my way through my 20s, and eventually land on producing a massive hit podcast. So
Yeah, it just took almost 40 years. Happy birthday.
oh yeah, previously on.
Previous on birthdays, you just turned 40.
Yeah, so I figured that was the main reason I wanted to pivot to video. Is what better time to become a vlogger than when you turn
Just wait
40?
till I'm 40 and then I
Yeah,
want everyone to see me.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. It's the birthday that I've probably like felt the most, or just from like a um I don't know, like taking stock of where you're at in life and thinking about what you have left, how
Oh
much time,
no.
not like how much time I have left in life, but how much time I have to like pursue new
Hmm.
interest or like change radical things about my life. I bought a house. I'm in a long-term relationship. Obviously, you've had some big life changes
No
in the
changes
last
here.
year,
I'm not 40.
but yeah, I don't know. You start to think about like what what else am I gonna like try to accomplish
Mm.
or learn or do?
You have so much time.
I do, but like, do you find yourself like pursuing new hobbies and really
Mm.
getting passionate about things? I mean, at this age in your life?
Yeah, I actually might get a
Well,
drum
great. You're
might
not
get a
40.
drum set soon.
Oh, okay. Well, you can perform on the podcast.
Great. Give me a little time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're gonna get that because I've always wanted a drum and I just never was able to. So I think I'm gonna buy one and give myself lessons and see how it goes.
Do you have any rhythm?
Not really. I don't know. I guess because we're not a very musical family.
No.
So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I had a little pandemic, spending spree and
Mm.
boredom spree, like a lot of people. Aside from starting the podcast, I bought all these like synthesizers and
You're getting
started
good at
trying.
that though.
I know you don't have to like be skilled as a pianist or anything to
Hmm.
produce, looping music and manipulate it, but I would love to learn to play the piano, and I
Oh
could
yeah.
to some degree, but I can tell I have the worst like bottom 1 percentile finger dexterity. Like I can't move my fingers independently. The one thing I have going for me is finger length, I guess,
Yeah.
but
Can you do like these things, like the weird things where
no,
you're
I
like,
can't do any of it. Thank goodness we have
can you touch
video
your
now.
thumb to your finger like that? Or your
Um,
arm?
I don't. It all hurts anytime I
Oh,
try to
okay.
move any of my
Perfect for
fingers.
piano. Get
They
ready.
just seize up into like a claw.
Oh, can't
So,
wait to watch that.
but I love the like practice of playing piano and the
Hmm.
sound, and especially ones where you just see people out in public and they're not electrified and they're just like you can just sit down at a piano and
Hmm.
start playing it. It's mesmerizing.
So is that your goal for this
I don't
year?
know. Yeah, not at this age.
Not this dexterity level.
Piano's a young person's game.
No, no, you can still learn.
Well, that's exciting. You need how much time do you need? Like a month to train?
Yeah, at least.
Have you have you seen the movie Whiplash?
Yes, of course I have.
Yeah. So just go in on an intensive.
Get in a car crash, then still make it to the final performance.
Yeah, we
Got it.
need more Miles Teller.
I know, I agree. I think
What's
the
he up
last
to?
thing we saw was Top Gun, right?
Pretty much. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I feel like he's been in a slow period in his career.
Yeah. Maybe he has a family and he's just taking time. Who knows?
Isn't he with? No, I thought he was with Shailene Woodley, but that's just in the Spectacular now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was with Aaron Rodgers. I don't
Yep.
know.
She
Well,
was. Yeah.
it is football season, but we'll probably save our sports talk because we got
Yeah.
a lot to get through. Um, okay, well, back to the movies. Thank you for the birthday wishes.
You're welcome. I don't think I even did I wish you happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, so Gilmore Girls, White Lotus.
Oh, season 1.
I finished season 1. I'm almost done with season 2.
Nice. You like it?
I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good. I don't know why it
Dark,
took me so
funny,
long.
murder
Yeah.
mystery, which
The
we'll talk about
characters
later.
the characters are so good. And
The
it
girl.
has like the same girl.
Yep.
And she was in The Bold Type, which I loved.
Is
Did you
that
ever watch that
Freeform?
show? Yeah.
Jamie was saying, I was telling her who was in the show, and she was saying she was in a Freeform show. But no, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's called The Bold Type. I think there's 2 or 3 seasons. It's sort of like a girls but less edgy, but it's just good. It's a cute like New York fashion show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, Freeform is maybe the new CW, even though the CW still exists.
Mhm.
But it's all like superhero shows and kind of more high concept stuff, it seems like, on the CW these days. And Freeform is doing more teen drama.
Yep. So,
All right. What else?
we both watched this movie,
Yes. This is like
Long
the last thing.
Legs.
I think I talked about it on the podcast. Sorry, I cut you off, but
It's okay.
yeah.
I don't think you talked about it with me. Maybe with James.
Well, I think it was the last thing I had seen right before we
Oh,
recorded our
okay.
last episode. So I think well, I might have mentioned it. You and I were both talking about seeing it.
Mhm.
And so anyway, you finally got to see Long Legs.
Yes, I ordered it
Yeah. It's
for $20.
premium rental. Yep.
Worth it. Worth it. I don't even know where to start. It's fucking great. It's so good.
You like serial killer movies,
I
right?
love serial
mean,
killer movies.
Seven.
Yeah, it's very 7-ish.
It's very Silence of the Lambs. I mean, the
yeah.
director has Oz Perkins has referenced directly that that was kind of the touchstone, but putting a different twist, making like the Hannibal Lecter character like kind of pathetic and weird and I mean, not that Hannibal Lecter is is appealing, but he's
Right.
like got his shit together, and Nick Cage like lives in a basement like dorm room with
Where he does
glam rock
doll
posters.
modeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the way it was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting. And even though you only see Nick Cage probably for like, I don't know, 5 minutes the whole movie, maybe 10, he's terrifying. Like unpredictable, like what he talks about. It's just, and kind of Zodiac with the leaving the letters and stuff like that as well. But I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
So I think the reason I thought we talked about it is because I know you're not the biggest Nick Cage fan, so he
No,
won you over
I'm not.
here.
Oh, that's right. I'm not. I liked him in this
Yeah, when
because he
you
wasn't like
sparingly,
himself at all.
yeah, and it's like this is a good excuse for him to go full crazy mode and crazy look, and it's not like he disappears into the character. I mean, it's still Nick Cage, but it's used. They purposely like have that whole dramatic like opening scene
Mm-hmm.
where they don't show above
Uh,
his like chin.
yeah, the weird
Um,
chin.
yeah, so they kind of tease the main evil person
And
there.
the voice. Ugh.
Yeah. Um, it's I was watching a really bad serial killer movie, part of it the other day. The Little Things, I think it's called. Jared Leto and Denzel Washington
Oh, it was
came out at
bad?
the start of the pandemic. Yeah, it's just like a complete Seven or Zodiac knockoff.
Okay.
Um, but it's interesting when they show the killer, or if he's a killer or not. It's a little bit up in the air, way
Mm-hmm.
too much. Like Jared Leto is just acting like the most obvious creepy serial killer type you could imagine,
But he's not the
greasiest.
serial killer. Just kidding.
But yeah, and maybe he's not, but it's just
Hmm.
like we spend way too much time with him to have any mystery or any kind of suspense there. Um,
Oh, okay.
whereas Longlegs, there is a lot of suspense, and I think we should. Do you want to spoil the twist or not?
Sure.
Maybe not. I mean, well, it takes an interesting turn towards the end. We'll go ahead and spoil it. So
Yeah.
spoilers for Longlegs, mild spoilers, but it introduces kind of like a supernatural
Mm-hmm.
element. So he's not killing. The reason I referenced that movie is he's not killing people directly. He is, like putting the devil's spirit into a doll
Mm-hmm.
and then delivering the doll to families, and then that just kind of like infects the family.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Because they kept on trying to make it more logical. And I was like, how is he doing this? Like, how is he killing the family that he's never really there? But, and then that happened. I was like, oh, okay. It actually is like a satanic, because he does at one point say Hail Satan and then kills himself by bashing his head into the desk. So,
Yeah, Hereditary style.
yeah. I was like, I've seen this before. Not as gruesome, but I've seen it before.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a brutal scene. That was like one of the more extended
Hmm.
scenes we have with him. And then
Yeah.
obviously it ends in that shocking way. But you were satisfied sort of. I feel like this movie is actually everyone loves like the vibes and the atmosphere of it,
Hmm.
but I think it's been a little divisive in terms of
Hmm.
like the plot, the payoff. Um, and I
Yeah.
feel like for me, it was very effectively creepy,
Hmm.
but like the most tense scene was like when she was being stalked in her house. Like it
Oh,
also
yeah.
wasn't like tense. It wasn't really that tense or scary.
No, it wasn't super scary. It was just interesting. And
Yeah.
that's okay. That's
Oh,
fine.
totally. I mean, I think yeah, I don't really see any of that as a negative overall. It's just it is more of kind of like a mood piece.
Hmm.
And
But
then
Oh, I
yeah.
was just saying, but I thought he was effective enough to where my friend left after we watched it together and I was in the house by myself with just like River and I heard this like weird noise and it was like my TV turning off that like tells you it's turning off or something. And I was like, is someone in my house? Like it kind of like left a little lingering creepiness, which is good.
Yeah, I
Effective.
think one, it's a pretty bleak
Yeah.
movie, just so it does leave you feeling unsettled for sure, or unresolved. And
Hmm.
then I've heard other recounts of people just like the way they first flash his image on screen.
Yeah.
That was a legit like jump scare based on the people I saw it with.
I jumped.
Yeah, yeah. Meg squealed. So, uh, um, not out of delight like she normally
It's
does
like,
when
oh.
Nick Cage comes on
Yeah.
screen, but that was like a clever jump scare by jump scare
Hmm.
standards for sure. And um, yeah, so just kind of like the way they withhold his image for so long, and then they shock you with it, and then you're just kind of left not wanting more,
Yeah.
but with a lot to think about.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't really care for is I didn't really care about her mom's story that much. I mean, I know she's part of like putting the doll in the house and like making sure like Satan gets what he wants and people all die and all that stuff. But I just thought something about it just didn't. It was too much.
Well, it's interesting you say that because it's been a couple of months, so I was piecing together the plot in my head,
Hmm.
and sometimes you'll go in the complete opposite direction and say like I just wanted all the backstory or I just wanted way more
Yeah.
info. But in this case, they do a pretty ham-fisted job of squeezing in all the exposition at the end of the movie, and the fact that her mom just made a literal deal with the devil
Yeah.
is pretty on the nose. In that they explain how everything works, and it does take away from what is so kind of mysterious and effective about the presentation of the movie.
Yeah.
It's like withholding intentionally and
And it just
restrained,
tells you everything.
and then it just throws all that out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually I would be the one to be like, I want to know the history, I want to know everything, and then I was like, I don't really need to know everything. Leave me a little mystery here.
What
But-
did you think of Micah Monroe? So she's in It Follows, one of my favorite
that's
movies.
why I was like, why is she look familiar? I actually didn't love her acting.
Is she just too understated? I mean, it was a very quiet performance.
Yeah, it seemed almost like a sarcastic. I don't know. It didn't really grab me, unfortunately. It's kind of felt like. Do you remember the movie Taken and the daughter
Yeah.
that's like taken, and she's like kind of overly dramatic to where it's like you're supposed to be a kid, but something about her was off. I feel like something about Micah and this character was just off to me. It just didn't feel like she fit the bill for me.
Something is definitely off about her, but I mean, and she's clairvoyant, and she's conveniently, that's the other thing about the ending. Like, she has all this insight into serial killers in general, but also she happens to be connected directly to the person that we're hunting. So it's like, that's just a little too convenient plot wise. But all that aside, I mean, it sounds like we both found it really effective.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, the fact that they went to that house and then her partner got shot, like his head blown off right in front of her. I was like, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
no, movie was great. I definitely recommend it to people.
Cool.
So.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about any other previously ons because I want to get into the feature presentation, and we've got other radio programs following us, so we've got to keep on a
Other
strict,
live radio.
a strict schedule here for our time slot. So are you ready for the feature presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me see if I can make that happen.
Stay tuned.
Yep, here we go. I'll stop it
Ooh.
there.
That's why I'm wearing the shades, because it's very fancy.
Yes, yeah, you fit right in and
Good old
Nantucket.
into Nantucket. Yeah. No. Definitely not.
All right, well, this is, I think, going to be, I was honestly a little struggling for our big comeback episode to find something I was excited about. And I had seen that this show was coming out, and it's a murder mystery. It fits the theme of like watch one episode and see if we want more.
Oh, for sure.
I knew it was going to be like relatively buzzy as far as like just on a Netflix audience, top 10 scale, and the cast. So it had a lot of things going for it, but I also was like, do we need another straightforward murder mystery? Yeah, I mean, White Lotus is the really interesting version of something like this. Commentary on rich people. Is there anything interesting about The Perfect Couple other than just the formula?
The actors.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, Nicole Kidman's wonderful, and Liev Schreiber, is that his name? Liev?
Yep.
Yeah, incredible. And then the older guy who's like plays like the gay guy that works for the whatever. What was he? What's
I think
he
he's
in?
the wedding planner.
He's the wedding planner. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just saw him in something. I thought he looks really familiar, but maybe I'm just. But besides like the actors, I was like, I just watched Good Girls Guide to Murder as well.
Yeah.
don't know
Well,
if you
I
watched
mean,
that,
let's just. Did you? So that was reasons to watch it, but once you actually watched it, did you enjoy it?
Okay, fair. It was fine.
Yeah. I know, this is great. I mean, we love to have a strong, rousing debate here.
Well,
And-
stylistically, it's beautifully shot. It's a cool location, like Nantucket. That's cool. It's really vibrant and beachy, which is sweet. But yeah, do I care to know who did it?
Yeah, we'll get to Do We Want More, but
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I was most hyped maybe just about like the location and just spending time on like the Northeast and a coastal
Hmm.
town. Like I was waiting for it to storm, but it didn't really.
I know I wanted a big
Um,
lightning storm.
and I'm sure it will at some point. Um,
The finale.
the structure of the episode is we get like 5 minutes of everyone meeting at the rehearsal
Hmm.
dinner or just like intros to the characters. We learn a little bit about like the rivalries between the brothers, and we start to and we kind of see is the perfect couple the titular couple that's Nicole Kidman and Liev Schreiber's
Yeah, that's what they want to do, like the
characters.
New York Times article on, whatever they're gonna call the
Yeah,
perfect
and
couple.
she's a writer, so
Sure, it's
at the
fiction,
end, yeah, at the
murder
end it
mysteries
dawned
and
on
things.
me
Yeah.
that like maybe this is like a bad like I assume she's kind of like writing like cheesy, pulpy
Mm. Hmm.
um mystery books, and like this show is capturing, I don't think this is what they're going for, but like
No,
capturing one of the bad plots she would write for her book.
like
Um
kind of like that Kristen Bell miniseries. That was like the girl through the next door through the window overlooking the bridge or whatever. It's like 20 letters, 20 words long. Do you know what I'm talking
yep.
about? I butchered it, but something like that, where they're just making fun of like those kind of shows, but it's actually done really well.
Yeah, and this isn't, that's the other thing. I couldn't decide if there was any kind of choice made to comment on these type of shows or comment on these type of people. Like again, like White Lotus is like very clearly skewering
Oh
this
yeah.
kind of rich, entitled people that come to Hawaii and disrupt the native culture.
Hmm.
So, and they have conversations about it. It's darkly really funny. This isn't trying to do any of that. I mean, it just
No.
hits all the beats of that. The jeweler reveals that Liev Schreiber spent $18,000 on a bracelet for someone else, or unless it happens to be for Nicole Kidman, and he just
And
hasn't given
and
it
she
to her.
forgot about it.
Well, yeah, or he hadn't given it to her yet.
Yeah.
And everyone, just like in the other murder, like presumed innocent, which already I think I was way more hooked in presumed
Yeah.
innocent, even for all its flaws that we discussed.
Hmm.
One of our most popular episodes, by the way. Good to
Oh, sweet.
good to leave off
Until this
after
one.
that.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Um, but yeah, there's no like central persona that's as
Hmm.
mesmerizing as Gyllenhaal in this.
No.
There's no the mystery. So what I distracted myself as usual from saying is that we get to meet the characters, learn a little bit about them. We know someone dies,
Hmm.
and then by the end of the episode, we find out who the victim was.
Yeah.
Spoiler for The Perfect Couple, episode 1. It's the girl you like from that show.
Yeah.
So,
Marin or something. I think it's her name
yeah,
in
yeah.
in the show.
So I mean, that's like I was like I have my notes as usual, and my note like 15 minutes before the episode ended was like there better be a good cliffhanger um, for me to keep watching,
Yeah.
and the cliffhanger of who the victim was I don't know. I don't know if it was that interesting.
No, and I
Did you
thought they could have chosen someone else to die instead of her.
did you have a guess before that happened who it was going to be? Like I
Well,
kind of thought the husband
that's what I was thinking too. I thought it was gonna be him because she was like there with her wedding dress and like all
in
this
shock.
in shock, and I was like, it's probably him. And he seemed like the most normal of the family, and he's like marrying someone that's like not so well established.
And she's getting
But
cold feet,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
seems like her true love was actually the best friend.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, not necessarily in a romantic sense, but like she unquestioned or like
Hmm.
unreservedly loved her friend, and so
Yeah.
she is genuinely shaken. Well, obviously by her dying,
Hmm.
and now we don't really get that many. Like everyone is a suspect based on their character flaws that we see
Right.
throughout the episode, but there's no like clear tie to motive yet, is
No,
there?
no.
Yeah. Like we can maybe assume Liev Schreiber's character is sleeping with her, or someone else is sleep. Like but she's also seemed to have shown up with the best man,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a thing going potentially.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Um, one thing, a murder show that started all of this, probably not, but at least for me,
Mm-hmm.
Twin Peaks, where
Oh yeah.
Laura Palmer's character shows up, washes up on the shore, wrapped in plastic, and that just kicks off like our entry into this quirky,
Mm-hmm.
insane, like just stylized, weird, supernatural town. And Agent Cooper's character is like immediately so engaging and
Mm-hmm.
interesting. And Lynch, his whole falling out with the show, well, one of the reasons he fell out with the network is he never wanted to solve the murder mystery. He just wanted to use that as like
The jumping
an
off point
excuse to
without.
have the show
Yeah.
and put all these people there. But like, this is, I don't know, it's annoyingly formulaic.
Well, that and like, since I'm watching White Lotus and White Lotus is so good, it
Yep.
just makes the show look terrible. Not terrible, just not very good in comparison. And with White Lotus, they have a murder at the beginning, and you don't know who dies until the very end. And I was like, I love this. It's so cool. And I had no guesses, I had no idea, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's that person. And then you didn't really care because it's the end of the show, whatever. But this one, you're like, okay, it's her best friend.
In White Lotus, you can actually like forget because you're
Yeah.
engaged in just like the interpersonal relationships, the characters, the humor, just from scene to scene is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like actually funny, and you almost forget that you're watching a murder mystery. But that's a great little bonus on top. And if at any point they need to give you like a little cliffhanger plot wise, they can tie something to the murder.
Right.
Um,
It's perfect.
so it's a great device used to perfection. Here, it's the only thing the show has
There's
going.
got to be something else, right?
I
Like
mean,
they're holding on to something that's like something bigger. I don't know. It can't be that direct.
there's been Big Little Lies, like, and also
Oh, that
with
was
Nicole
so
Kidman
good.
and Shailene Woodley.
Yeah.
And it's like I forget why that, because that was relatively conventional, but you got all these incredible performers together, and you actually got to see them
Zoe, yeah.
interact
good.
and have compelling scenes together. In this, Nicole Kidman's kind of mailing it in. So
Yeah.
far, maybe it's not her fault, but she's not getting anything to do.
And
Yeah.
the bride, I don't really care for her character either. Like I don't like her. I don't think her acting's that great. I like Liev Schreiber. He's sweet.
Yeah, I liked when he cut his son down. They're like took
Oh,
him to task
yeah.
at the boat. Yeah.
He's like, and the bottom of the barrel or the rock sinks. And I think that's it. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, he gets this beautiful boat, and he's
Yeah.
like, the person who made this boat was so proud to give it to me because he knew it would be such a well-performing, such a impressive
oh,
boat that sustains itself and speaks for itself, and not a rock that just immediately sinks to the bottom of the
it was
the
so
water like you.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
mean, that son's obviously a shithead, but it's still like,
Yeah, I kind of liked the little dynamics between the bros, like ribbing each other, but not.
not
Whatever.
really. I think
Like,
that one bro is like such an asshole that it's like too
Yeah.
much. It's like too much.
yeah, and that's because like so or Dakota Fanning,
Yeah.
is just like in the background of a lot of scenes, looking pregnant and scowling at him. So they've got this terrible marriage, and she's just kind of using him seemingly for money, which
Oh,
and he
yeah.
doesn't have any, because the family. So what all this is going to tie into is that they're not actually that wealthy because they lost most of their money, but she's also, I guess, a pretty successful
No, they're
author.
pretty. No, they're wealthy.
Well, they say that they lost like all of their money, and they're like, well, not all of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And then I wrote down, I'm just looking at some of my notes here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bride to be's mom who has cancer,
Mm-hmm.
takes out a pill bag, and it has the word caution on
Yeah.
it.
Did it have a crossbone or a skull and crossbone?
It
I
had
don't
like
remember.
yellow and black, like iconography. So basically,
Yeah.
so that was unintentionally funny. There's like a monologue that the groom to be gives about how he met his potential wife at a zoo, and
Oh, that was cute.
It was cute, but I've heard this penguins mate for life thing
I
like
know it's not
20
like a
times in
right.
movies.
Yeah, it's like the same
And
thing. Like patience is a virtue. Like never heard that one before. It's like very
yeah,
similar. Like yeah,
so it's just cliche after cliche. High production value, of course,
hmm
reasonable. I like the female FBI agent that
yeah, she's
comes
awesome.
in, but I mean, then her just kind of like butting heads with the local cops. Seen it before.
Yep.
I mean, there's just nothing original here.
There's just nothing. Nantucket's beautiful though.
Yeah, Nantucket is beautiful. Their house, I mean, but we don't see much of it. I mean, we just see
No.
their house and the beach like connected to it.
hmm
We see. I like the shots in town, but those
Yeah.
are just like B-roll, establishing shots. Um, and all of this said, we'll get to the main verdict here.
Yeah.
But I bet people will keep watching it. I wouldn't begrudge anyone
hmm
for continuing to watch it. It is striking all the notes that you would. Well, we want more from a show like this, but like it is playing the hits. But yeah, I don't know. Are you gonna watch episode 2? Did you already finish it?
I held my cards pretty good. I watched episode 2. I did.
Nice. You
But
sucker.
it got me. No, it didn't really get me. I was just kind of bored. I was like, I'll just watch the next one and see.
It's shorter.
It's shorter, which I love.
I didn't watch it, but I
It's
I saw the
doesn't- you
autoplay
don't-
and it was 42
yeah,
minutes.
yeah, you don't need to watch it. It's more of the same. The characters are fine, all stereotypes, and nothing surprising. So,
Great.
Yep.
Well, that's it. Welcome back.
cool video.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see if this, aside from a day or two in the top 10 on Netflix until something else unseats it.
Mhm.
I'll be curious to see if this gets any kind of buzz or attention beyond just the Netflix machine having such a built-in audience that they can make anything kind of a temporary hit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be the next Baby Reindeer.
No, for sure. And I think it's kind of lately I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. I'm actually like reached my max on Spotify, so I have to wait. But
Oh, nice.
I was like, great, cool. So I can't listen to all fours. I have to wait a little bit, which is a bummer because that's the only book I've listened.
so you paused that one and ran
I
out of
didn't-
time?
I didn't pause it. I just can't listen to it until I have more time added on Spotify, like next month, or maybe it's
Gotcha.
this month now. But anyway,
You had,
Um,
yeah, I thought you had started it, but you
I
haven't
started it.
Oh,
yeah, I'm like
gotcha.
4 hours in or something. But that's incredible. I think a lot of the books I'm listening to are very similar to how I feel about this show, which are just kind of like phoning it in. Like they're like murder mysteries, but they're so bad and like so poorly written, and I just don't understand. I mean, I kept listening to it because it's great for a walk, but they're not good, and this keeps happening on Netflix. I feel like as well, and on what was it, Dark Matter, Gray Matter, whatever.
Yeah, that one I'm a little remiss that I've talked to some people and listened to other podcasts where
Mm-hmm.
maybe it did do some interesting things. I stand by everything we said about the first episode and how
Yeah.
generic the performances were and cliche the world
Have you
was.
heard of Schrodinger's cat? I haven't.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe they did find interesting grounds, philosophical grounds as it
Mhm.
went on. I've heard, like Three Body Problem, like had a lot of flaws, but it was kind of intellectually interesting ultimately to me. But yeah, I can't imagine that a murder mystery is going to teach me anything new about the
Right.
human experience.
Yeah,
Hey, Willow.
I just want it's my dog. Hey Willow. I just want another Devs or something that makes me like excited to watch a show again. It's been a minute, I feel like.
Well, maybe we should get on to coming soon and see if we have another Debs on the pile.
Ooh.
So my verdict is, so you wanted enough to watch 2 episodes, but are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so no more for you. No more for me. Thank you for enduring the second episode so I can feel even better about not watching it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. What if I was like, oh,
Um,
it's the best show ever. You really have to watch through.
yeah.
It's like Murder at the End of the World. Or like, just keep watching. Just keep watching. You'll like it.
Even that had the setting, which was awesome.
Yes, it was
The
beautiful.
central romance, which was compelling,
Yeah,
and in theory, the technology and AI stuff should have been more interesting.
but then they really
But
botched it.
yeah, I mean, honestly, that was a way better show than this.
Oh yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have to reopen the doors and dust off the cobwebs
Oh
at
my
the
gosh.
old gift shop.
We've been gone for a month.
Yeah, we've cleared out all the back stock, and
Everything is
now
for
we
sale.
now we need to put something really exciting in from this very
So
mediocre show.
yeah, so each week when we watch a show or movie, we take something from that show or movie and we sell it in our gift shop. So from this show, I mean the oyster shucker. Oh, did you get to that part?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like one of the murder weapons potentially.
Well, and she's like, she doesn't know what an oyster shucker is, and the other detective's like, even my daughter knows what that is. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
like cool. She's a murderer.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well,
So
let's we should guess. Do you care? I mean, not care, but like, who
no,
would be an interesting? Obviously, we don't care. No, who would be an interesting choice?
I think it's more than one person
Ah, okay.
because
Classic Scream.
the cop's daughter did have like a bloody like
Forgot about
rag or something, which was so weird. So she was there. I'm guessing.
that.
If not,
That was another really
I don't know.
cheap, lame. I mean, yeah, the all we get about the daughter of the cop is that she's a caterer and
Yeah,
she wakes up with a bloody sheet. Like,
yeah, but
yeah, no.
it's like close to home, so she could be the murderer and he would never suspect her, kind of thing.
I don't know.
I think it's the pregnant wife.
Yeah. So wait, what pregnant wife? Oh, yeah. Dakota's
Dakota
character.
Fanning. Yeah, I think
I was
she
telling
did it.
I was telling Jamie. I mean, the only bold, interesting choice, but it probably doesn't make any sense because of what I've said earlier. Is the wife to be?
Oh,
I mean, she's
killing
the
her
only
best
person
friend.
she's the only one I wouldn't suspect.
Yeah, but I feel like that's
But and I guess her motive would be she was peering longingly at the best man.
yeah,
So and they had that conversation about her not being like addicted to her husband, like, you know, so she is attracted to other people. And her friend is the more like, I mean, I don't know for my taste, but the more conventionally like appealing sexualized character.
yeah,
So anyway, that would be it. That's a stretch, but jealousy.
yeah. That's good. I'm gonna say the pregnant wife just because she's trying to like keep Marin out. I don't even have a reason. I just think it'd be interesting because you wouldn't think it would be her.
I could definitely stand for more Dakota Fanning on the show. I mean,
I know.
even though I said her character isn't given anything to do,
No.
it is kind of she is kind of funny.
Yeah. She's interesting. I mean, she was washing in the second episode. She was like washing a dish she shouldn't have washed because it would be at the crime scene probably, and but she might be coming up for her husband, coming back late after sleeping with that woman. Oh, he's sleeping with that older
with the old woman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Duh.
mean that was
that was
telegraphed.
so obvious. Yeah,
Yeah, and he
Yes.
was like told to. I mean, by his mom or something.
yeah. So
Kind of.
no surprises.
Who is she?
I don't. She's like friends with the mom, I guess. I don't know.
I thought she was going to be a parent,
She's not.
but yeah. Well, why don't next week we spoil it because they're all out, so
Oh,
we can
okay.
just look it up.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So yeah, my vote's for Fanning. It's the murderer, but maybe her and her dumb husband.
Okay. 2-for-1 special.
Yeah.
I'll go with the wife to be.
Okay, that's great. I mean, if it was her, that'd be really surprising. Okay, so what are we gonna sell in the gift shop?
Yeah, oyster shucker.
I was
I
thinking
do
like an
love.
oyster shucker Christmas ornament or something.
Well, can you use it?
Yeah, but it's also a
Um,
sharp knife on your Christmas tree.
Okay.
Like
have
dangerous
to.
Christmas ornament.
I'm gonna get weirdly close to the camera while I type this in. Watch. Brace yourself.
Ah!
Oh,
I can see that gray hair coming in. Must be 40. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, this is HD. Look at that. Oh.
I feel like your arm should be long enough to reach your computer.
It's I'm still working out the setup here. Now I'm out of focus, but that's okay. All right. So coming soon, I will play some backgrounds ambiance for us here. Let's see what we got. Something fall inspired. Some wind blown leaves.
I'll say rustling leaves. Nice.
Put this on loop here. I don't know how this is going to work if I was going to play some trailers, but I don't feel like doing that. So I will share my screen and when we go to the posters for these.
Mm-hmm.
But have you heard of the two shows that are out now? English Teacher on FX, on Hulu, and Chaos on Netflix.
For some reason, Chaos, but I don't think I know anything about it. But it sounds very familiar.
Jeff Goldblum plays a god.
I'm in.
Yeah. And I ran into someone yesterday who was watching it, so
Oh,
it is
perfect. Okay.
actually getting real life viewers in the
Cool.
the world. Okay, so that's next week, unless we come up with something else.
Okay.
Chaos. Oh, and there was someone in the credits when I watched the trailer that intrigued me. Oh, End of the Fucking World writer, I want to say, or creator was attached.
Cool. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Okay.
Yeah, so that was a huge plus for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'd rather watch that than. Is English Teacher about like a teacher having an affair with a student?
No, it's actually a sitcom. It's like this like high school. The clip I watched was them trying to explain to students what non-binary was, but it is kind of a lighthearted comedy from what I can gather.
Pass.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn off the leaves because they're distracting me.
Yeah, it sounds just like static.
Yeah. Well, that is our aesthetic now.
And we're out.
So we got Chaos next week, and then I have a couple of movies that are releasing on home video, aka Max. The next 2 weeks after that.
Okay.
Well, first off, we have Civil War. Have you seen? You remember when this came out in theaters?
No.
Speaking of devs, Alex Garland, his latest movie, where it takes place in the near future when America has been completely divided and broken out.
I almost
into
went to see
Civil
this
War.
in theaters. Okay.
Yeah. I
All
saw
right,
it
cool.
in theaters in IMAX. Incredible experience, but that's going to be on Max on the 13th of
Sweet.
September. And then, you have any interest in this Colin Farrell Penguin?
I love
show?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Well, he's
So-
unrecognizable.
Is he playing Penguin like from Batman?
Yeah, I forgot. Let me share my screen. I can show you.
Am I right? Is it the Batman tie or is it something random?
Let's see which one of these is Penguin. Here we go. So yes, sorry I didn't answer your question, but he is playing the Penguin
cool.
from Batman.
Yes.
He's in a lot of prosthetics. He was in the Batman movie already as this version of the Penguin.
Okay.
And yeah, unrecognizable.
Cool.
But other people have made this comparison. It was the first thing I thought of when I saw it. And now there's memes and everything confirming that it's Sopranos, but in the DC universe, he's
Sick.
just he's just a mob boss.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
So I mean, not that that's a bad thing.
No,
but
Sopranos is a great show.
yeah, of course. All right, so that's the Penguin, and then my movie of the year.
Yeah.
Of years
Oh.
is coming out on Max after that.
Skip it. Just kidding.
Yeah. Come on. Where are you? There you are. I saw the TV Glow. So
okay.
I am
Are
really
you gonna
excited.
rewatch it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to rewatch
Okay.
it. I really wanted to see it a couple times in theaters, but the timing didn't end up working out. So I'm dying to rewatch it.
Yay. Okay.
Really excited to get your thoughts because the fake show in the movie is basically Buffy.
Cool.
So I mean, it's just about like the nostalgia and kind of finding an escape, and I mean, it's about a lot of things.
Okay.
But finding an escape and having a really profound relationship with a TV show that transforms you and makes you feel things that real life hadn't made you feel.
That sounds beautiful.
Not putting words in your mouth, but that's sort of my relationship with Buffy. And
Cool.
yeah, I can't wait to see what you think.
What a good lineup.
Yeah.
Well picked.
Yeah, and I mean, there's probably going to be some other things that pop up. Like Chaos wasn't on my radar until yesterday, so that's always the case. But yeah, that's it. If you want to hear us discuss those shows and watch us do things out of focus for part of the
I
episode,
know. Like, it's hard to look at you.
it's not gonna refocus, I guess. Then you can subscribe. We're already on Spotify and Apple and every other podcast platform, but now we're going to be on the big stage.
Now you can see
YouTube.
all the little tunes.
Yeah. What's your TikTok presence like?
Negative. Can you be negative
Okay.
on TikTok?
Yeah.
It's really hated. Just kidding.
40,
I don't have TikTok.
40 is definitely too old for TikTok. Not too old for YouTube.
I'm pretty sure 37 is also too old for TikTok.
Yeah, but I am going to have some like clips from the show.
Great.
So we can just text those to friends or like show them our phone in person.
Oh.
whatever methods of
Like, look, it's me.
yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna try to make some bite-sized little clips from
Great.
the podcast to share, and hopefully some people find us on YouTube and subscribe there.
Oh, wild.